Well, folks, afraid I'd get back on here. I probably told this story before, but I don't know if you know who like Dan Pina or whatever his name is. He's an older gentleman, billionaire, and he does financial like seminars and things like that. And this young man, probably I don't know, probably out of college, but probably early late 20s, early 30s, maybe. Probably closer to late 20s, so that's about it. Anyways, he gets up there. Man, he's all excited. He's going to talk to the great Dan, the money man. So, anyways, he talks to Dan. And he gets up there. He goes, "Oh, man, Dan, I've read your books, and I'm a great fan, and all this and that, and blah, blah, blah." And then he says, "Yeah." He says, "I've read 750 self-help books," and Dan cuts him off right there. Boom. What? 750 self-help books? Oh, yeah. He goes, what the hell's wrong with you? Oh, suddenly that just let the air out of him. He's like, "The great Dan told me what the hell's wrong with me." And then Dan explained it to him. He says, "Listen, son." He says, you read 3 or 4 self-help books. That's all you need. He says, then you start implementing what you've learned and go on with your life. He says you wasted a lot of time. And a lot of stuff is contradictory and a whole bunch of stuff. I said, more to confuse you than anything. So anyways, this young man, he wasn't real happy about that, but hopefully it helped him. See, people out there in the world that, it's like they got to know everything. They got to, man, you got to be all in the detail and into this and into that, blah, 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 okay? Unless it's your job, okay? Unless it's your absolute job and you research this stuff or you're some type of intelligence or information gathering thing, that's different. But to sit there and, get into all this other stuff, and it's one thing to have a general understanding of things. It's another thing to get into things in depth. And if it's not your job and it's not going to benefit you, there's no sense in doing that. Do stuff that's going to benefit you in your life. Okay? If you're trying to get a job in an informational gathering setting, okay. Maybe they want to know what you know. Maybe they think you're pretty good at what you do. And they'll give you a job. But most people, they don't want to hear it. It's like, the people I know, they don't want to hear this crap. They don't care about it. Okay? They'll complain about things, but they don't want to hear about it. And I don't talk about it. You see, nobody likes those kind of people. Well, they know this, they know that, and then they start throwing everything out, this and that out, all kinds of crap, and it's just like it's just you end up in a fucking marsh, in the middle of a fucking marsh, in a swamp. There's ways to do things and just go generalization. We get it, we understand, but then you got to prove how smart you are. And then people look at you and go, they don't like you. They try to avoid you. See, people in intelligence and agencies and police and things such as that, congressmen, intelligence, look, they don't talk about this stuff. They don't talk about this stuff. They don't sit around the coffee room and talk about this stuff. You know, they go into a closed room, no phones, no nothing. You know, they leave all that shit outside and blah blah blah, and they go in and they discuss these matters. See, but that's it. And they might hear somebody talking about something, but they don't nod one way or another, nothing. They don't even know what the hell the job is. They don't even know what they do. If somebody looks at you and you say, "Oh, what do you do?" and they say, "It doesn't really matter." They're trying to tell you, none of your fucking business, and back off. You know, that should tell you enough right there. But some people, they got to push and press the issue. Now, they don't understand. A lot of this stuff is nothing but another way of conquering, you know, divide and conquer, and get you chasing your damn tail. You know, are things what they used to be 500 years ago? No, they're not. Are they, it's 500 years ago, yeah, before that, 500 years before that, were they the same as that? Closer, more similar. But as technology comes in, things move faster and faster. And the program is only as good as the person that's programming it. What I mean by that is when we get into this AI stuff, it'll only be as good as the people that program it. And if you have a bunch of people that are paranoid, crazy, you know, against humanity, because everybody's a cheat, everybody's a liar, everybody's this, everybody's that. Well, your AI is going to be that way. It's not going to, you know, it's not going to serve as it should. You see, there's something that you and I do, people, humans, do, that computers don't. When you're talking to someone, you can hear the tone of their voice. If you're talking to them face to face, tone of their voice, their facial expressions, that little twinge under their eye, you know, the color of their complexion. I mean, there's you know, glitches and ticks and all kinds of stuff, all right? You can pick up on this stuff. Something ain't right. This guy's manipulating the situation. He's not telling us everything. I mean, you can pick up on this stuff. A machine doesn't pick up on that stuff. Say, could it? It'd have to be programmed to, but then again, it doesn't have that sense we've got. It doesn't have that gut. You see, what we have going on now that we didn't have going on even like 10 years ago. 15, right? Really, 15, yeah, probably 10, 15 years ago, we really didn't have it going on like we have it going on today. These cops wear cameras. There's cameras all over the damn place. There's cameras in their cars. There's cameras in your car. You have a cell phone. I mean, everybody's got cameras. You have metadata stored on your computers and all kinds of stuff, okay? And they have backdoors into your computers. They have acres and acres and acres underground around this country, not around just the country, but around the world, that store databases. And these things are like supercomputers, the best of the best stuff we have. And it's going to keep getting better, and they'll keep upgrading this stuff. And it does trillions and trillions of transactions a second. And it's getting better, you see. Are still things that go on that shouldn't go on? Yeah. But you know what? For the most part, they know it. They know who the bad actor is. But they can't very well tip their hand, can they? Oh, that goes against the Constitution. You're right, it does. That's why they can't tip their hand too much. They have a right to privacy and all kinds of stuff. But they can't tell you these things. See? You know what goes on. I know what goes on. They know what they're doing. But you see, more and more people are exposing it with facts. More and more cops are getting sued. More and more judges are getting fired. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Cops, everybody, it's starting to become a little bit more of an even playing field. See? And when you learn how to bargrieve lawyers and write your own criminal complaints against anybody, guess what? The playing field has just really gotten serious. They can't run. There's nowhere they can hide. So does their future look better? Does their future look brighter? Well, hell yes. Because you run around going, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Why are you even alive? Why don't you just dig a hole, climb in it, and pull the dirt in over on you? Why don't you just do that? I mean, I've said it before. See, most people don't watch my videos. They don't watch it clear through. They don't watch the past videos and stuff. Will you find discrepancies in things? Oh yeah, you will. Sure you will. And you should. Because you see, when I try to point things out, sometimes I, have to be not point on all the time and try to explain myself, but I just glance over it. Hypocrisy will show through. Things won't add up right. So on and so forth. But that's not the main gist of the video. The video is just there to get you to think, look on beyond all their bullshit. Say, that's all it's there for. And I'll put it this way. If you can sit here and watch 2-3 hours of this crap, my crap, everybody's crap. If you can sit here and watch that much of this shit, my God, you got way too much time on your hands. Okay? Go get a second job. Maybe a third. I don't know. But come on, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Go make your life better. You see? Don't listen to my bullshit or anybody's bullshit. Make your life better. I mean, if you need to run around and fill yourself with all the bullshit, and because you're thin-skinned, like you're more important than everything. Well, you're important to your mom, and maybe your dad. And well, they say God loves you. Okay, it might be important to a few other people, but in the scheme of things, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about me. I mean, think about it. Think of the people you know, really. The people that you know. How many really, really would take a bullet for you? How many would go onto a cross and die for you the way Jesus did? Right. That tells you how many people that you could really count on in life, doesn't it? There's one, and that's Jesus Christ. God Almighty, you can count on. And that, my friends, is life. Following God's commandments and God's laws, moral laws, doing His will instead of this bullshit. You see, There'll be nothing done anywhere. Doesn't matter in the whole universe, in the darkest, deepest spots of the sea. Doesn't matter. That won't be known to God. Okay? So you could dig and dig and get to the bottom of this and go, oh man, look at me. Well, don't look too hard. Like I said, I'm the biggest sinner I know because I don't know you. Most people don't understand that. Will you get into heaven? More than likely not. Just being honest. More than likely I will not get in. And I know it. I'm not delusional. I mean, most people are not going to get into heaven. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. It's like if a civil war broke out in this country, most people would be dead in shit. First 30 days. 90 days, you really got nothing to worry about. And most of you, what I'm talking to right now, won't make it through it. Most people will probably be dead in the first couple of weeks from just, not having enough food, not having enough water. But if you go around in your life thinking like that and getting yourself all bummed out and down, like I said, just go dig a damn grave and pull the dirt in on you. Okay? Don't worry about that bullshit. This is what I'm talking about. Give it to God, put it in God's hands. You tried to. But then there's some son of a bitch out there that's always pushing your buttons. Like I said, your day's going along good until some son of a bitch messes it up. And that's usually the way it is. So, folks, you got what I'm kind of saying here. Just try to take life as it comes. There's a lot more to life than just making money and surviving. There's a lot of people out there that need your help, and they don't even know who the hell you are. Like I said, if you're having a hard time making it yourself, take care of yourself first. That is the most important thing you can do, is take care of yourself. And if you're helping your loved ones, good. Take care of your loved ones and yourself. Don't worry about anybody else, okay? But if you got an extra dollar or two, it doesn't hurt to, when you go into the store, buy an extra can or two or whatever and put it in a little pantry thing up front in the store. Or take it over to the pantry yourself. Or church, whatever. Same thing with dogs. The Humane Society, food, stuff for animals. And, you can always write out a small check to Salvation Army. I mean, I don't give a shit, $2, $3, $5, it don't matter. They can, you've all heard me say it before, they can make $1 scream. They have the organization, they have the connections, they have all that stuff that we don't have. You see, people seem to think we're here for our own gratifications, and we're not. Just the opposite. Let God take care of what's God's, okay? And you take care of your little bullshit stuff in your little part of the world. With God is giving you the guidance to do so. Everything is God's. We're just caretakers. That's all. I mean, never said in the Bible about being selfish and this and that. On the contrary, it says the opposite. But it doesn't say anything about you have to be poor either. You can be rich. Depends how you got there. God doesn't like cheats and thieves and a whole bunch of others to get. The ends do not justify the means. You know, how you got there has a lot to do with a lot of things. It'll tell you the type of person you are. Like I keep saying, you got to self-evaluate yourself. You got to look. And some people, they'll make excuses. Well, I'm doing mine because I know it's. You're all prideful. And if you listen, I. Okay? I just come on here and say stuff, and hopefully you just kind of, oh, okay. Take it with a grain of salt. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. But you're still going to go live your life the way you see it and see fit. And as you should. That's if you're following God and God's laws and doing God's work. You know, in the beast system, and we live in it now. But when the monetary system comes in, everybody has to take a mark to buy or sell. You're going to have to make a choice. Do I take that mark and make my allegiance with Satan and burn in hell? Or do I turn that mark away, make my allegiance with God, and hopefully end up with eternal life? That speaks louder than anything. Oh, I took the mark so I can. Don't think. Okay? This is what AI's coming about. This is why crypto's coming about and all that stuff. You're not going to go out and buy all the food for your family and be the martyr because, I took the mark so they wouldn't have to and blah, blah, blah. It ain't going to work that way. You're going to have an allotment and they're going to watch it. Universal basic income, a whole bunch of other stuff, and they're going to watch it. And they'll be picking you up. They're going to kill you for his namesake. God, Jesus, died on the cross for you. Are you willing to die for him? Think about it. There's a lot of ways to die, and I'm sure it ain't going to be a pretty way. It probably won't be pretty much a painless way. You don't want to make you suffer, as Jesus suffered. More than likely. Oh, I know. Oh, the guillotines and all and the poison and the gas. Listen, I've heard all the bullshit too. So, anyways, you folks, you have a good one.